Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Miguel back again with another video, and today I have the Redmi Pad Pro in my hands today. Now this is a pretty big tablet. This is a full-size tablet. I think it's a 12.1-inch tablet, but with that I also have the Redmi Pad Pro keyboard and I also have the Redmi Smart Pen that comes with it. So we have kind of like a full package. We're gonna go ahead and unbox it and review it, see what it is like as a first impression and give you guys my thoughts on it. So first of all, with the Redmi Pad Pro. So we have 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of internal storage. The color that we have is also the mint green color. One thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is the Pro name, because obviously when you attach a Pro name with something, then you automatically start assuming that this is going to be a Pro level device. But I want you guys to judge for yourselves whether this is a Pro device or not. So let's go ahead and unbox it and see what we have. So right on top we have some of the details. We have a 2.5K display, which seems pretty good, and then we also have 120 Hertz, so that's a good start. It's powered by Hyper OS. You have Snapdragon 7 Gen 2 mobile platform, which is sort of an okay chip. It's sort of like in the middle, not the best. We have a massive 10,000 milliampere battery, and this is the first time that I'm reviewing a device that has a 10,000 milliampere battery. You also have a 33-watt fast charging out of the box, and then you have quad speakers for an immersive audio. And I believe this is powered by Dolby, so you are gonna get some quality there. Now, if you look at what we have, the only thing that we come with is the paperwork, and you have your USB-A to USB-C cable. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and also unbox the pen, and this is the Redmi Smart Pen. This is some paperwork, but I believe you'll get an additional nib as well if you want to replace that. And then last but not least, you get your pen. And this is a pretty lightweight pen in my opinion. Nothing special, and I like the fact that they're including the USB-C port right here, so you can just grab a cable and start charging it. I think it's just more easier to do as opposed to you finding or trying to get this tablet to charge from your device. But I should mention that the Redmi Pad Pro does not magnetically have the capability of attaching the pen, so that is kind of a weird take. And more than having the charging function, I just wish that it would have the ability to magnetically connect with your tablet, because you can lose this at any time. So that's just my feedback on that. All right, let's go ahead and also take a look at the keyboard. Well, that's a little bit of a heavy keyboard. This is going to significantly increase the weight of your tablet, I can tell you that. And I immediately noticed that you have your charging port over here, so that's a good thing. You can directly charge it again instead of having it charged with Bluetooth. Well, it does show me the pen over here. Does it attach here somewhere? No, I think it's just a holder that you have for your pen, although it has the little bit, it kind of has a little bit of a picture of the pen, but there is no magnetic attachment there. I think this is just a little portion where you can go ahead and do that. Now let's go ahead and unbox this, unwrap this and attach it to the keyboard. But first of all, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now this is the mint green color, and I'm struggling to find any mint here. It's mostly kind of like a silver color. There is a slight hue of light green though. We have the power button on top. You also have your speakers, so 2 speakers on top, 2 speakers on the bottom. You also have your USB-C cable, and you have your 3.5mm audio jack. One more thing to note over here is that the bezels are a little bit thick, but they're kind of symmetrical, so they don't do a bad job at looking good. And then you also have your camera, which is placed on a landscape instead of on this side. So that's a little bit of a difference. Just looking at the device, you can immediately tell that you have 120 Hertz of refresh rate, and I believe this is not an LTPO. The refresh rate, yeah, it's not an LTPO. You can go ahead and change it to dynamic, or you can also change it to 120 at all times, 90 even if you want to, or 60 at all times. That's up to you. But just by putting it at dynamic, it will automatically go ahead and decide when it needs to or not. Now, looking at the display, one of the things that I noticed is that it has a pretty good contrast and good quality, and that's because this is a 12.1-inch display which has a 2.5K resolution, so that's pretty good. But one of the reasons why I asked you guys to keep in mind that this has the Pro name in it is because This has an LCD display. It has an IPS LCD display, which I couldn't understand why. But then when I looked at the price, then I kind of understood as to why it was an IPS LCD. But obviously there has to be some sort of cost cutting in there, but I just don't understand the name of it, because you add the Pro name to it, but then you kind of don't have a Pro display. So that was a little bit confusing to me. And the same thing when it comes to the performance. Now, I'm not expecting a tablet to outperform a cell phone. This is probably not going to be used in the same way. This is more of just like having a tablet on the side if you want to use it for your calendar or your emails and stuff like that. So not really a power user kind of tablet. Or you can use it on an airplane if you want to watch movies, or maybe give it to your college kids if they have to use it for a specific project. But it's not going to be used for heavy editing or any sort of that, like the iPad Pro that just came out. So looking at the numbers, this gives us 562,000 points, which again is not Pro by any means. So, and that's my main problem. Like, you're building in an expectation that this is gonna have Pro specs, but it then really doesn't. The only Pro spec I would say that this tablet has is the resolution of the display, the 120 hertz, and then the 10,000 milliampere battery, which is the biggest battery that I've ever heard of on a tablet. So those things are kind of Pro. You also have your pen here, so you can also use it to kind of scroll around, or you can even use it to take notes if you want to. I don't like the feedback. I mean, it doesn't feel right. There's something about it that doesn't feel, it feels a little bit weird to me. I don't know if there's a slight lag which I'm noticing, but I just it kind of feels a little bit weird to me. Now let's go ahead and put this inside of, actually this little thing that I was using for the pen is actually, that's not the function of it. It's used to go ahead and secure the tablet, which I'm gonna go ahead and do now. Now this is how it's gonna look like. If you guys want to see it from the front, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. There is no space to put in your pen, which nope. See what I'm talking about? But you guys see what I mean? That you know, it's kind of like you're gonna lose it all the time. And this is the second time that I've kind of lost it already. I couldn't tell where it was. So I don't like that you're not able to put this anywhere or secure it in a safe place. You do, however, get a dedicated memory card slot, so you are able to expand your memory if you want to. So that's pretty good. I just don't like the fact that this also doesn't have any sort of RAM. So it just has 6 gigs of RAM. You can obviously upgrade to 8 gigs, but that's a maximum. I mean, I would like to see maybe 12 gigs of RAM as an option for a tablet, and especially when it comes to this size. Camera-wise, this is not a tablet that I would recommend you to go ahead and buy for a camera, and I don't really understand the sense of a camera on a tablet. I mean, I know that you have to place it there because obviously you can't really launch a device without a camera, so I understand that aspect of it. But I just don't understand that, because this is such a bad camera. It's an 8-megapixel camera and it does a horrible job. It's grainy, the quality is pretty bad, and this only supports 1080p video resolution. And the same thing with the front camera. It's almost very much useless. I mean, I understand that on a tablet, I mean, actually the front camera actually looks a little bit better as compared to the back camera, if I'm honest with you guys. And I understand that the front camera may be used for videos and stuff like that, so it makes sense over here, but the back camera is as good as useless in my opinion. If we talk about the battery, I already mentioned that this has a 10,000 milliampere battery, and then you also get a 33-watt charger out of it. Now, the only feedback that I have is that with such a big battery, I would have liked to see a little bit of a heavier or heavy-duty charger or support for more charging, because 10,000 milliamperes is going to take a really long time to charge. So at 33 watts, I mean, this may as well take you an hour and a half to 2 hours minimum to charge from 0 to 100%, or maybe even more than that. So that's my only criticism. There's nothing wrong in having a big battery. Obviously, it's a plus point, and 10,000 milliampere battery is pretty much going to give you more than 1 day of battery. I haven't really tested it out, but I can just assume by using other phones and other devices that a 10,000 milliampere battery is probably going to give you twice the battery life that you will get from a normal cell phone. But then you also have to keep in mind that obviously you have a bigger display, so you are using more power there. So I believe this should give you at least a day and a half of continuous use without having any problems whatsoever. Price-wise, this costs around $200, just around that. So it's not really too bad. If you convert that into dirhams, then that's just around the 700 to 800 dirham mark, depending on the specs that you go with. You can go ahead and buy the 256 gig version, or you can also upgrade this to 8 gigs of RAM if you want to. So there are a few options there. So 700 to 800 dirhams, which is not bad at all. And that's what I said when I kind of talked about the display. So yes, it has an IPS LCD display. It has sort of like a mid chip, but then you have to keep in mind that it's also a very cheap tablet that will cost you 700 to 800 dirhams, like not even touching 1,000 dirhams. So that's my feedback on the Redmi Pad Pro. The only thing that I don't like is the name. So it's not a Pro tablet by any means. And then the other negative feedback that I have is that you don't have any sort of support for your, or any magnetic support for your pencil. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.